Oh, Kiza, you'll have to excuse me if I seem a little bit strange right now because I think I'm suffering shell shock and rage 3 both at the same time, and I'm a bit rattled, right? I've just come off the phone with the telcos and they've made my problem even worse, and now I've got no phone. So
Mate, yeah, you need a Nuncio Vox with a chaplain on the other end, bro. Not fucking Telstra or some shit.
It has been, my whole afternoon has been an absolute disaster. All right, but I'm here. Let's turn it on for the pod, Kieran.
That's it. We can chat about some heresy. Feel good again.
All right. We're just going to do an absolute 180 on this bitch. And we're going to start feeling good about things again. All right. Kiza, today we are taking the pleasure to talk about our experiences with the amazing heresy camp that we had here in Melbourne with our good friends, Rob from Metas Miniatures and Baz as well, who is Anphiarus on Instagram. So we're going to break down the awesome week that we had. But just as a sneak peek to show you guys some end results, this is what has come of it. So we did spend the last sort of week or two finishing off our Kratoses and doing all those extra little fine little details just to make them completely 100% finished. For an OCD maniac like myself, it's not finished until every little scratch is done. So I took a lot of the extra time available after the course to complete my Kratos. And what I've actually put together in the process is a full tutorial on how to do this glow effect for the Volkite weapons. I had a lot of requests for it when I finished the glaive that I did for the salamanders. And I thought this is the perfect opportunity to take some photos and to put together a tutorial. So that will be dropping along with this episode this weekend. And it's available on the Powerfist Patreon.
I love it, bro. Like, it's so subtle, but like, you know, it still has that OSL kind of wow kind of factor to it. A lot of the time, I feel like, especially when I try to do it, I overdo it a little bit. I always try and push it a little bit too far. But this is just like perfectly executed. And to be honest, I think I'll be checking out that tutorial as well, just to see what's going on, because you've absolutely nailed it there.
Cheers, bro. More on this later, though. We'll get to the meat and potatoes first, and then we'll talk about the tutorial a little bit later.
Sounds good.
All right, Kieran. First cab off the rank was the Kratos course that we both did. So essentially, there was 2 groups at this course. One spent the first couple of days with Baz, and the second group spent the first couple of days with Rob. And then midweek we switched and we spent the other 2 days with the other tutor. So we did the Kratos first. Do you want to shed some light on how that sort of went?
Yeah, absolutely. And we also had a day in the middle there for games and stuff, and we managed to get a couple of third ed games in with Rob, which was an absolute treat as well. So good. So yeah, finally kicked off the new edition in style. But yeah, the Kratos course was fantastic. It was a challenge. Like, it's a big tank, it's a big model. There's so much detail on it. I hadn't built or kind of painted a Kratos before, so it really opened my eyes to how detailed it is. It has all the same kind of design elements and aesthetics as like a Sikaran or some of the super heavies, but it's just there is so much detail on there. It's far more detailed than those other examples. So it was a bit of it was a challenge for me, like, to be honest, to get it done in 2 days. And maybe I'll discuss later, but I had a major setback in my painting experience as well, which slowed me down a little bit.
Well, let's talk about the start of the Kratos course, and then we can work into the
Yeah.
start. So, essentially, right? If you haven't heard of Rob's Kratos course before, he has fine-tuned his painting efficiency to bring to you the. Would you agree that it's probably the highest amount of results in the smallest amount of time?
Yeah, it's super efficient. His every step that is in it is very purposeful and fulfills a role. There's nothing nothing there that doesn't need to be there, but everything is there that needs to be there. So he's got it down to a fine art, and I think he's painted over 50 of these tanks himself now. So you'd expect him to to be on top of that. But yeah, the results that people got were absolutely fantastic, and all levels of skill as well. But they all turned out, really, really nice. So he definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's very important to note that there were people on this course, all varying skills and experience. Some people had never used an airbrush before. Others had been using an airbrush for 10 years. There was some great technical painters as well. So we had the whole gamut of capabilities there. And it's probably got a lot to do with Rob's teaching background. But the way he delivers the course and the syllabus and explains all the steps and stuff, it's easy for everyone to digest across all of those capabilities and across their painting levels. And for me personally, because I have we both have a fair deal of experience painting models. I mean, it's what we've done for the last 20 odd years. And for me personally, it was really great to not only see the efficiencies in the way Rob paints, but also put myself under a little bit of pressure to paint in my sort of way as quick as I can, following Rob's sort of methods as well. So it was really great to feel stretched in that regard, and to really feel like the blowtorch was on me. Is that a pun? Oh my God! Like, is that a pun?
You having a crack at me here, bro? Yeah.
Holy shit!
Oh mate, the blowtorch was on for sure.
Excuse
anyway,
my pun, Kieran, please. Yeah. I don't want to trigger any PTSD. However,
I'm sweating here. Yeah.
Maybe I should have said, instead of the blowtorch, Rob's whip just cracking me on the back, saying, "Paint faster, paint faster."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I got a lot out of it. And to feel pressure again while painting, it felt quite good to sort of exercise that muscle again. So I had a great time on the course, and by the end of the 2 days, I think that I'd completed everything other than the Volkite weaponry, the lenses, and a couple of very, very, very minute details. So you could say 90 to 95% of the tank was fully completed to a level that I would paint to normally. So it wasn't like I, rushed it or took any compromises or anything like that with the quality of it. But it was great to be in that environment in the course, to go that step by step and to hit all those little checkpoints and to keep looking at the watch and seeing how much time I've got, and asking Rob, when's lunch, or I've got no time for lunch. I'm going to paint through my lunch break. What time are we finishing today? And, making sure we finish by that time. So, personally, I got a lot out of it from an efficiency regard. And I definitely will be taking those sorts of practices into my painting ahead as well.
Yeah.
How did you go about it, Kieran?
Yeah, it really kind of demonstrated to me like the importance of process. And, it just kind of, it goes to show why Rob is such a prolific commission painter. He's not just another hobbyist who has an amazing set of skills and also has an excellent teaching manner. He does it for a living. He's a professional, and their time constraint was tight, but because everything was so like clearly like delineated and followed on step by step, even if you fell a step behind, it was easy to catch up and follow the exact same process. So I also kind of felt the pressure, but I never felt like I was out of control, apart from at one moment, and that was entirely self-inflicted. But just the process he has sets you up and allows you to work at that high speed while still kind of creating a great result. Something that I wouldn't be able to do usually. Usually I can do those long hobby sessions and sit down for hours and work and be in the flow, but I would never have that level of efficiency. Like I would be trying things and experimenting a little bit, whereas Rob really, really nails it with every single step. There are no, everything is for a purpose. And I found that kind of very refreshing. And I went out and got myself a notebook. I've never been someone that writes things down as I paint, but I want to try it now a bit more for my next project, just to try and nail that system and that process so that I can replicate it across a force, because I do a lot of things by feel and just by how it seems to me. But I'd like to try and nail that process a little bit more, just to increase that efficiency. Like we all live busy lives, right? We, can't spend as much time painting and modeling as we used to, perhaps. So to have those efficiencies is really, really valuable. And that's definitely a big takeaway I had from Rob's course for sure.
So I painted salamanders because that's the army that I'm working on. And like I said before, I didn't really compromise on anything in the scheme. And I think what's also important to note is that prior to the course, Rob called everyone, all the participants, one-on-one, and spent the time and the care to go through everyone's individual color scheme and what they were sort of willing to achieve out of their scheme as well.
He's very flexible with that.
Super flexible.
Like he has suggested color schemes if you don't have one that yourself that you're trying to use. But he was definitely happy to work. He worked with quite a few people on schemes that they had found somewhere else or had for existing armies. In fact, someone used Your Thousand Suns tutorial from Patreon to paint their tank. So he was happy to work with people. It was. I know, man. Like, it's not my tutorial, but it was super flattering and like awesome to see. Like, the dude had printed it out in hard copy, and it looked amazing. It looked fantastic.
Yeah, that was incredible to see. I'm so humbled and grateful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I went about adding the Kratos to my existing army. I didn't really want to go for a new legion or experiment with anything different. What did you end up choosing?
Well, I was a late addition to the course, and as I've said many times, I'm kind of stuck on what to do next for my Heresy 3rd Edition army. I had a bit of an Iron Hands wobble the other day that I messaged you about that shocked and horrified everyone.
It did, actually. But, lucky I was sitting down when I read that. Otherwise, I would have fallen over.
Like you said, it's very mech adjacent, so it's a bit of a shock to the system. But because I didn't know what I wanted to do color scheme wise, and because I'd been subbed in at the last minute for our good mate Imsy, who unfortunately couldn't attend the entirety of the course, I thought I'd paint up the Kratos in the Blood Angels colors as his favorite legion and give it to him as a gift. So I went with the Blood Angels. I used Rob's color scheme. It's a color scheme that I've used myself before, and I was really, really happy with how it turned out. But yeah, shout out to Whimsy as well. He helped organize and set up the whole course and experience for us. Got those legends down to Melbourne and to Sydney, which was fantastic. So yeah, I thought it would be a nice little gift to Imsy to say thank you for setting that whole thing up and getting me on the course. So I went for Blood Angels. I can bring up an image here, how it turned out. I was very happy with it in the end. Well, yeah, awesome. So super, super red. Like, this image doesn't really kind of show how vibrant it is, but yeah, really happy with it in the end. It was a bit of a challenge with the Dark Angel, the Blood Angel transfers. They don't have an amazing set of transfers. They've got those really nice bits of trim that can go around the edges, but they didn't have any big like IXs for the Legion numerals. So I ended up using some from the Sons of Horus sheet. Actually, I just cut out the V and put them on the tank there. But I'm happy with how it turned out in the end. But there was a moment when it felt like the world was crashing down around me and everything had happened.
No. Trigger warning.
My dreams were melting before my eyes.
Quite literally.
So I was rushing to try and keep up and to get on to the next step. And I had just applied the oils for the oil streaking. You can see it. You can see it in that image. It doesn't show up too well, but on the panels where I've got the black detailing on the front of the tank there above the tracks, the oils just weren't curing for me. And I think it's because I hadn't drained the oil properly from the oil paint the way Rob had told everyone to, because I was rushing, and I just couldn't get it to cure with the hair dryer, and I kept hair drying it. I just didn't have time. Usually, if I was not racing the clock and I was at home, I would leave it out in the sun or just leave it overnight to do its thing and cure properly.
Yep.
But because I was trying to rush on the course and get everything done and get it finished, I wanted to get it finished before Imsy came in as well. So that was a bit of pressure. It was a surprise for him. He didn't know I was painting it. So I was trying to absolutely nail it. It was the last day. So, of course, I came around to you on the other side of the table and I borrowed your heat gun. Now, I've used a heat gun twice before on models. Well, once before and on the Kratos. And both times I've destroyed them all. Like, I've damaged the models. So I don't know why I thought it would be any different this time. But yeah, instead of the hair dryer, I started using the heat gun, and I was pumping away. I was way too close. I had it on the highest setting, and I should have had it on the lowest. I was twice as, I was half the distance from the model I should have been. And to be honest, it just wasn't curing. There was still like a glossy finish. I was not liking it, so I kept going. And I didn't even realize that I'd melted it. I was like, oh, that's enough. It's not working. I'm gonna have to re-gloss it. I'm gonna have to like do something else with oil, with varnishes. So I took it off, turned the heat gun off, and then I looked at it and I fucking noticed.
Just turned to molten slag.
It was so hot. It was still like you could still move it. It was so you can't really see it too well, like, because I've done a bit of a repair job on it. But the black sections on the front of the tank there, where there's an XI now, on both sides had like concave quite severely. There was a bit of damage on the tracks as well, and a bit to like the main body of the tank. But the main damage was on those two sections where the IX is now. And it was an absolute nightmare. Like, I had been going like flat out, working hard, barely time for a toilet break, just absolutely nailing it. I was almost on track. I was catching up. And then this happened. And I just sat there for about 20 minutes, just staring at the wall, like, not saying anything.
I was told about this earlier because I was on the opposite side of the room and I didn't hear a thing about it because you just entered your cone of silent disappointment by that stage. But had I looked
bro.
up and seen your face, I wish I had got a photo of that moment because I can hear the soundtrack playing in my head. Hello,
Oh man.
friend.
Yeah, no, it was a nightmare. Like Dom, our mate, was sitting next to me as well, and I'd mentioned it to him, and he knew. I think he was the only one, and he just didn't say anything to me. Like, he knew just not to say anything. Like, to be honest, like it probably would have been better if he had just like taken the piss out of me and riled me up a bit, and like I'd been able to move on. But I sat there for like at least 20 minutes just stewing about like how I'd absolutely fucked this gift up that I was about to give, like trying to give to Imsy. Completely like, embarrassed myself on this hobby course as well. Like just melted my tank, like made an absolute mess of it. But yeah, after 20 minutes, I kind of like, got my shit together and I just continued on with the day and like painted the other elements of the tank. Like I think at that stage I still had to paint all the metallics. So I went across, went and did all the metallics and all the golds and silvers. And I kept going and pretending essentially that I hadn't melted the front of my Kratos. So I got that done and then I had to take it home that night and, finish the course late, had to go and do a few things afterwards. I had soccer training that night. So I get home about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm exhausted. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm absolutely shagged out, but I have to sit down at the table. I don't have my hobby light. I'm like absolutely slumming it. And I just pull out. Oh man, it was a nightmare. It was a tough hobby period for me, man. Like I pulled out the green stuff. Usually like for that kind of damage, I would like make a nice green stuff milliput mix, layer it, smooth it out, level it. And then, over the next day or two, I'd sand it down and trim it down and, add the rivets back, add the details back. But I didn't have time for that. I had to get it done. So I just made a basic green stuff mix, roughly filled in like the severely concave section of the tank. And then I took a very thin piece of plastic card that I cut to fit and laid it over the top just to get that smooth finish without having to do any sanding or what have you. And then I had to just leave it overnight. Like there was nothing else I could do. I had to just hope that when I woke up in the morning, it had cured properly and I'd be able to like have some quick bit of breakfast and then head straight back into the course. Although to be fair, the next day was the day off, but like it wasn't a day off for me. It was it was like hobby repair day. So I just spent, well, not all of the day because obviously we had games and we hung out and had a good time as well. But I spent a fair patch of that day repainting that section from scratch. So I, reprimed it with a white spray can, went all the way back up through the red, gloss varnished it, chipping, hairsprayed it, did the black, chipped it, gloss varnished it, put the transfers on, gloss varnished them, oiled them, so and then varnished the whole thing. So it was, I did that whole process across the next day, that Friday.
You're Battlesmith too. You got Battlesmith too,
bro. Yeah, like you can barely tell in this picture. Like
you've saved.
If you look carefully,
you've done a great job. You've saved it.
You can tell. But I'm super happy with how it turned out. And like a few people said to me, I should have taken like pictures and written up how I like addressed it and like what I'd done to fix it because it turned out really nicely in the end. But I was just too embarrassed and too ashamed at the time to want any evidence left of my absolute failure, my hobby failure. So I didn't take any images of before. Like, there are witnesses to to corroborate this story, but unfortunately I didn't take any images of that process. But I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end. Imsy loves it, which is the main thing. Sorry?
The repair job that you've done, it looks great. You've saved it.
Yeah.
You're a battlesmith, but probably low intelligence while wielding the heat gun.
Yeah, very low intelligence, and I don't know, somehow managed to roll a double one when I was fixing it or something. Passed the test then, yeah. Oh man. Anyway, lesson learned. Like, heat guns are not my friend, and I just need to be far more careful with them in the future if I do use them. It's a pure lack of experience with them. Like, I don't use them on the job or anything like that. It's not something I'm familiar with, and I just overdid it. So, and it's doubly kind of
There are very
punishing.
few who can wield such power, Kieran. Only
I
very
know
few.
I'm obviously not a salamander with my Battle Forge +1 attack melter. So,
Say hello to Gunny.
oh mate, traumatizing me again. But yeah, like it's a good learning lesson. I hope everyone out there takes it as a bit of a cautionary tale, but
Well,
it was very funny, and
it also,
it was the plastic as well. Like, if it was resin, I'd be able to reheat it and move it again, and try and get it back to how it was. But once the plastic's melted, the plastic's melted. Like, you can't do anything. Like, it was just an absolute nightmare.
yeah,
Oh,
and you know what it is? It does keep you humble, that stuff, right? Because no
yeah,
matter how
absolutely.
much experience you have, um, in any industry, really, everyone's human
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and we all fuck up, no matter how much experience we've got.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, look, I'm no saint either. I'd probably fuck up way more than what you do. I couldn't even undercoat my army properly in what has
Oh, yeah, that
been
was a nightmare. Yeah.
dubbed as the Chaos Black drop site massacre.
Yeah, that was horrible.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah, that was absolutely horrible, and that's like the most rookie mistake you could ever
mm.
make.
I just
And
happened to make my biggest mistake on a course with 20 other people.
well, look, at least you didn't have to start again. At least it was
Yeah.
salvageable.
Yep.
All of the above, right?
Yep.
So, and at the
Yep.
end of the day, you produced a great looking tank, and that's all that matters. It's about the
Cheers, bro.
recovery, how you get back up. That's it.
That's it, mate. That's it.
All right, Kieran, that's looking lovely. Now, I might just pop my Kratos up
Yeah, please.
to have a squiz, and then we can move along. So this is the end result I ended up with. I'm super happy with it. Obviously, I just couldn't keep it like a normal Kratos out of the box because I've got a problem with that for some reason. Don't ask me why. I just have to be a special snowflake about these sorts of things.
Mm.
So I even went to the trouble of printing a Talarak pattern Volkite for the main gun up the top because I don't particularly like the Volkite that comes in the box. Why? Don't know. Just like this one better. And it gives it a little bit of a point of difference. And I
Yeah.
also added the spikes to the sort of like frontal armored section of the chassis. And I figured, look, they'd probably go lower on the tank than higher up to sort of prevent, enemies from trying to scale the tank or whatever, and just gives it that cold brutality as well. So I'm super wrapped with how this turned out as well. I did have some varnishing issues with a couple of my previous tanks as well. And when I spoke with Rob too, we kind of put our heads together and overcame it as well. So that's really great too. Now I can sort of go into my next set of projects with a renewed sense of confidence when it comes to sort of the varnishing and the finishing as well, because that was becoming a real bugbear of mine with this project. But yeah, I think it fits seamlessly into my army right now, and I'm wrapped with the result.
Yeah, bro. Looks fantastic. I do love those spikes. Like, it's not something you'd necessarily associate with the salamanders, but it gives it that real kind of like post drop site massacre kind of vibe. Like, these boys are definitely like part of the Shattered Legion or a Black Shield kind of force. They're not like the salamanders in the novels. These guys are a bit more hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. They got a chip on their shoulder now, for sure.
Yeah, really, really nice. Yeah, so good.
All
you
right,
haven't got a
let's
name here,
talk
but it looks fantastic next to the other vehicles in your army as well that you've done so far.
Cheers. I
Just-
don't have a photo here to
Yeah.
show, but I was going to put it next to the glaive and take a photo and just caption it. Never speak to me or my son ever again.
Yeah, it blends in really nicely. Although, to be fair, I think this tank would probably put out a bit more damage than the glaive, right?
Oh man, I'm so disappointed. The glaive just. Why would you take a glaive when you can take 2 of these for the same points?
Yeah, the glaive does look better.
Does look better. It does look better. It is the coolest tank in Heresy, in my opinion. It's just a shame that the rules aren't as cool. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, Kizar. That was our first couple of days on the course. Let's talk about our next couple of days. And that was spent with Baz, who, if you don't know, is one of the most prolific hand sculptors going around at the moment. His work has been incredible for a number of years, and he's been a source of inspiration for an extremely long time. He keeps getting better and better as well at the physical sculpting, and it was, as someone who's tried to do a lot of sculpting in the past and on past projects, and as someone who likes to customize and create my own sort of bits and pieces for my conversions, it was great to sit down with him and to discuss and to see his workflow, which was completely different to what I had expected, and to what I was doing. The way I went about it, sculpting things like cloth and ribbon and robes and stuff like that. It's a completely different approach to how Baz would do it, and it was really great to see his workflow and then to put that into action and to practice on some models as well. His delivery on the course and his syllabus that he's made is very similar to Rob in that he's a terrific instructor, and no matter what your experience level is with sculpting and with putty, he will get results out of you because he breaks it down in a way that is completely understandable and practical for everyone there. I mean, it does help that he's a great guy and terrific to get along with.
Yeah.
And it was amazing seeing some of the results from people who had never even touched green stuff before.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna ask. I don't know if he has like a teaching background or anything, but he was a really, really good teacher. He gave us a lot of time, and he was very, very helpful. And I had to pop off early one day for a football match, and he put in a bit of extra time over the lunch break to catch me up and to show me a few different things. Very, very generous with his time, and just I was also surprised by the way he applies the green stuff to the models. Like, I think I had a basic idea of how he did his cloaks and ribbons and that kind of thing, but just how he applies the green stuff to the model is super, super different to the way I would do it. He had a
super different to the way I would do it as well.
Yeah, he's I think the way I would do it is is more kind of about adding green stuff to a model, where his is about removing green stuff and creating which is the way to do it. Obviously, it's how you create, especially when you're trying to create symmetrical shapes, like two parts of a chest plate, or beards, the facial hair, like we did it. If you want like two halves of something to look equal, that's definitely the way to do it. He was, I had an absolute blast with Baz. He's a top bloke as well. And it gave me a lot of confidence to try and do a little bit more sculpting as well. I think like you, I used to do a little bit more than I do now. And I've kind of just let it go and let it drop off a bit. But for the next project I do, I'm definitely keen to try and do a little bit more and just be a little bit more creative as well, because I definitely feel kind of enabled and encouraged after doing the course with Baz, just to back myself a little bit more. And I'd already had a bit of experience with it, but he managed to get amazing results out of everyone. It was really, really encouraging, and I'm hoping that people will take it up a little bit more, because these days, 3D printing is so prevalent and is everywhere, and everyone has access to a printer or someone with a printer. And there are so many files going around despite Games Workshop's best efforts. But there is something really special about hand sculpting and creating something, genuinely unique for yourself. That is, just can't really be replicated in the same way. So I definitely encourage people to, if you ever get a chance to do a course with Baz, I don't know if he does any online stuff or anything like that, but his teaching material is really good. He knows what he's doing. Like, he really knows the tools as well. Like, the tools he has are like absolutely amazing. Like, blew me away. Kind of, changed the way I'll sculpt forever, pretty much. Like, just such a valuable course.
Agree. And I think everyone's got a like this sense of confidence that, everything is doable and approachable. So we covered, what did we cover? We covered
armor plates,
chest armor, and additional armor plates. So we did additional armor plates on the chest. We did some armor plates on the legs. We covered the soft armor joins. That's one of the areas where I learned the most, believe it or not. Soft armor joins. I thought I had some sort of idea about what I was doing. Turns out I had no fucking
clue. I was like, do I really need to learn that? Like, I can do that, but no.
We covered leather terurges as well. And also hair and facial hair, like beards. So we covered a shitload of stuff in those 2 days. And then by the end of that 2-day period, to have the confidence to say, hey, I know how to do that now. I reckon I can go off by myself and go and do it. That's where the value is. Because you can really just springboard your own hobby when it comes to conversions and customizations.
Like, I don't know, like, I found the beards really fun to do as well. Like, I don't know,
they were really fun to do. I fucking hate beards on Space Marines. I hate beards on Space Marines. They only work for one legion, and that is Space Wolves, and I don't like Space Wolves.
I was wondering if I could do like I don't know, maybe a word bearer with like a big beard, like a mad priest. But I think the bald shaven priest kind of look suits them better. But just the confidence to do beards and like, to do hair as well. Hair's something that you'd use on more models than beards necessarily. But the beards don't have to be like long, thick beards. He just uses the long, thick beards as the teaching kind of model. But he also gave plenty of feedback and advice on how to do shorter beards as well, which would, suit any number of legions. So we learn a lot, and the leather straps and stuff are going to be definitely something I'm going to use. I use a lot of these on my Emperor's Children, and not to not have to rely on press molds and to do stuff that kind of fits models a little bit better. That isn't the same kind of piece stamped over and over again on different poses. I think is really valuable as well, like just being able to do that. And, obviously like, it's rough to a certain degree, the ones that we did, like, you'd probably finish it off slightly differently. You'd, you'd add some studs, you'd add like a little end piece and that kind of thing. But you can already see that, you know, you've created something really nice there. This example here is the one that you did. And, you know, the leather looks like leather, like the texture on it. Like,
Yeah.
it's really, really nice.
See, it like in days gone by where I'd attempt to sculpt something like this, I wouldn't apply all that texture in this sculpting phase. Like I would predominantly paint that texture on afterwards.
Yeah.
And create the texture through paint rather than physical texture on the actual surface. So yeah, a lot of the ways he just went about it changed my whole perspective on sculpting and what I thought it was. So to have a bit of like a fundamental shift in that is really reinvigorating, I find. I can't wait to try more techniques like this on some future models. And there is something special about, you know, your own sculpting job in the physical, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, look, it's open to mistakes and whatnot, but it is just one of one that way. There are no copies. There can never be any more copies of that. And that's what makes it special at the end of the day, being unique.
Yeah. Yeah. And I find it a more challenging kind of medium than painting, for example. And I feel like my painting, like slowly, you know, always kind of progresses as I go. Whereas I feel like I struggled for a long time with sculpting, and then I got to a level that I was happy with, but I never really kind of pushed on from there. Whereas after doing this course, I feel like I have, you know, new techniques that I can take to the kind of sculpting that I've done before in the past, but I can take it to another level now, and I can perhaps try things that I wouldn't have tried before, which is a massive kind of it's very kind of enabling and freeing. Like it's almost the way I felt when I started airbrushing. I felt like a much larger kind of part of the hobby had been opened up to me. So like when I started airbrushing, suddenly painting a white army or a yellow army or a black army was just as easy as painting an army of any other color, if not easier. Just because of, you know, that one tool, it just allowed me to do something different. And I found that I definitely feel like in that same kind of way, I feel far more kind of capable now of taking on new projects and trying things that previously I might have considered. Like I would have had the concept in my mind, for what I wanted and what I wanted things to look like, but I wouldn't have had the confidence to actually execute those things with my skills. Whereas now I kind of feel like I can back myself a little bit more, and you know, I might be a bit more open to trying new things.
Yeah. It was completely worth it.
Yeah.
Completely worth it. Kieran, we got a few more happy snaps here just to share. This is me complaining about my varnishes to Rob, and Rob thinking I'm just an absolute moron.
Yeah, he doesn't look that impressed, does he?
I can't remember. He does not look impressed at all. He's probably thinking, that's as far as you've got in 2 days. What have you done?
What the fuck is this dude talking about? Yeah.
And there we go. Happy snap as well.
Yeah. All the boys.
Yes. Boys together.
It was so great to meet Rob and Baz. Like, just so surreal. Like, we chat to Rob like all the time, and been a big fan of Baz for so long. Like, just really, it was weird. It was like very normal to see them somehow, but also
you know what? It's like it was
strange.
like catching up with an old friend.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was catching up with an old friend you hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, and that was great. And it was strange to see them go at the end as well. Like, we got to have a nice meal with Rob and stuff, which was fantastic. But I was saying to Rob, like, it feels really strange that I'm not going to see you again, like, next weekend to paint more. Like, like,
yeah,
where are you going, bro? Don't leave.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah.
I think the boys completely knocked the course out of the park. I've been on more than a few courses now, and this is by far the best one I've been on. And which is strange. Well, it's not strange to say, but like I'm more experienced now than what I was doing the other courses. But this is the one I actually got the most out of, even though I had the most experience up to this point in time.
Yeah.
And it was probably the best week I've had doing hobby. I don't think it compares to anything that I've ever done before. So I'm just grateful for the week in general, because it was the most fun I've had in the hobby, I think. So yeah, completely awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the boys will be back. I'm calling it now. They're going to be back.
They will be back, and I'd definitely encourage everyone to go. I think we'll probably both be going again for sure.
Yeah,
heaps and heaps of fun, and like I've already said it before, but like having a game with Rob on the Friday as well, that was really special and really good. We chat
a great way.
rules and armies and stuff all the time, and to finally like have
Yeah.
a game together was really special. Yeah,
Perfect way to pop your 3rd edition cherry.
yeah, couldn't have been better.
Absolute hunk like Rob. Yes, please sign me up.
Yeah.
Speaking of what you should sign up for, Kieran, how's that for a segue?
Beautiful, mate. You're professional.
Hey, you think I'd be getting like a little better at this stuff? Back to what we touched on earlier. Right now, available on our Patreon is the Volkite Heat Glow tutorial that I've put together. So this is the 5th tutorial now on our Patreon, and it's really accessible. It's not hard or difficult to do in any sort of way. It's just about being considerate about your paint placement, and what colors go where and why, essentially. So PDF breaks all that down into hopefully something that is pretty easy to understand and palatable for everyone. So yeah, you can go ahead and try it on your own models and share your results. That is the latest offering. And all you need to do is go to patreon.com/powerfist and sign up.
Yeah, your tutorials are really good like that. You don't simply kind of list colors in an order. You kind of you go into a lot of detail about why you do things, and why you've done things a certain way and how different things work together. It's not just a simple kind of paint list. So I'm, like I've said it earlier before, I'm definitely looking forward to trying this out. I've tried to do Volkite before, and it ends up looking a little bit too much like plasma.
Right.
There's a really
there's a big distinction between the two, I think.
This has a really nice kind of warm glow, and it looks it's more subtle.
Well, differentiating the weapons somehow, right? Because that plasma glow tends to be quite bright and quite incandescent, whereas this is like a hot heat glow, and I use some real life examples as well to kind of show people where I've taken that sort of inspiration from as well, and then I kind of describe how I imagine the weapon kind of working, and that's all leads me up to this sort of point in the result. So I try and explain the whole concept around the technique rather than just list the paints and the steps.
And it's really nice having that difference between plasma and Volkite, because in some ways they're very similar. Like they both have like a coil system, and they're both kind of heat-based weapons, but being able to differentiate them in that way, I think, is really tasteful and adds a lot to the model. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Cheers, bro.
I'm going to be working on. I'm
Go
going to be
ahead,
working
sorry.
on the tutorial for the Iron Warrior armor based on my Saturn Terminator. I was really happy with how that turned out. So that's what I'm currently working on. And I'm also in the process of building another Saturn Terminator, probably halfway through the 40 pieces it takes to build one. And I'll be doing that up in another color scheme. I haven't decided which one yet. It'll be one of the schemes I haven't done so far. So I'm thinking either Blood Angels or Imperial Fists at this stage. But I'm still tossing up in the air kind of what it's going to be. I think
we should post, we'll find out a way to post up a poll on the Patreon so people who are members can vote, and that's what you can pick.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm happy to maybe I'll make up a short list of color schemes that I haven't done yet, and we'll put that to the people, and that'll be one of the ones coming up soon. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Perfect. All right, so yeah, if you haven't already, please go visit the Patreon. We try to squeeze out a new tutorial for you guys roughly once a fortnight. So it's always active. And if you want to see more photos of our paint jobs, I've taken a bucket load of high-res photos of the Kratos that I've finished. So I'm going to dump all those up on the Patreon as well for people to see.
Awesome. Have to get one with the glaive and the predator as well. That'd be sick.
Oh yeah. All right. I've got the camera here. I'll take some more photos. Good idea.
That'd be really nice. Yeah.
That's it for us, Kieran. Any last words?
No, I just had an absolute amazing time on the course. It was tinged with the tragedy of my my heat gun incident, but we came out on the other side and had an amazing time. Thanks to Rob and Baz for coming down under. Thanks very much to Imsy for organising and instigating the whole thing. I hope you like your Kratos, bro. And yeah, had an amazing time. Can't wait for the next one.
Perfect. And with that, we'll see everyone in the next one.
See you next time.
Heresy.